less hassle. Yes! You can receive monies from your family and friends in UK, Europe, USA, Canada, Switzerland, and the rest of the world with our safe, secure, fast, and convenient service that offers you the largest selection of payout locations in the Gambia. Supersonics Money Transfer. We are currently in 34 African countries and counting, giving you quality money remittance services that are second to none. Visit the Google Play Store or the Apple Store today to download the Supersonics Money Transfer app and enjoy excellent money transfer services only with Supersonics.
For us to clarify one and once and for all, so that other members who have not spoken can take it from there.
Honorable member, I think what he is saying is you are part of the selection committee. Listen to your comments, and then you people who are members will come and now address their concerns. If you talk others, if you leave it out, somebody else will pick it from there.
Speaker, I am a member from Ulindum constituency, and I think I have right to speak my mind.
You still have the right. No, it was just a suggestion. You still, if you want to continue, you can please continue.
Yeah, of course, I wanted to continue. I just wanted to, buttress more on what they've said on the nomination of Honorable Sidinja as chairperson, just to throw out the sentiments coming from members with regards to that. Some of my colleagues have said the composition of the committee, selecting a chairperson of the committee. In the 5th legislature, we have somebody who is the chairperson who has a security background. And I've had Honorable member from Parliament say the last legislature, the Security and Defense Committee was not effectively functioning. So if you have somebody who has security background and security committee at the National Assembly was not functioning, what is stopping this National Assembly to select somebody who has no security background to lead that committee? As per his submission, I said. So I think it is wise for us. The member that they are identifying is already a member in that committee. The chairperson position is nothing for me. What is more important is you have qualified members in the committee to support the chairperson to do the job. That is more important. So for me, it's not about pointing finger to an individual to say he should not be a chairperson to that select committee or that standing committee. It's about the composition. Let's talk about the composition. Do we have the right people in that committee to do the job effectively? But not to point finger to an individual to say he is not supposed to be the chairperson. Honorable Speaker, this is what I wanted to clarify. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Member for Ulindum. We now have the Honorable Member for Upper Fuladu West.
Thank you so very much, Honorable Speaker, for giving me the opportunity to also highlight some of the issues that have already been discussed. Well, for me, I just want to make a little contribution concerning about this whole issue. I think first of all, I have to thank the selection committee for selecting people into various positions, because this is not an easy job, because whereby all the National Assembly members have to tender their CVs before anything is done. So what I just want to say is, I just want to make a personal appeal to National Assembly members that let's see our country, that is the Gambia. We should see Gambia. The moment when we enter in this building, what we're supposed to see is Gambia. We should not see our party. We should not see our consequences. What we should see is the Gambia. What is most important, that is the composition for me. Though I already tender my CV, though I'm a health professional by profession, I'm a health worker by professional, and also on education, on sports, on media, different aspects. But I cannot be in all this committee. So what is important, if you find yourself in 1 or 2 committees, what is important, you should just work as a team. I think here the most important thing is the composition. Being the chairman does not mean that whatever you say should stand. Sometimes a chairman can be in a committee. The members are more effective than the chairman. So I want members to understand, because we have been just going around the same perimeter since in the morning up to now. You know, it seems the assembly is in a limbo, and we should not be in a limbo. This is just the beginning of the journey. So I am urging members, let's respect the selection committee, the decision made by the selection committee. You know, we can just, you know, come up with our opinions, but this is a responsibility assigned to them. So, but if you want to see other way around, so we'll make life difficult for us. So thank you. This is my contribution.
Thank you, Honorable Member for Upper Fuladu West. We now have the Honorable Member for Nyani.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, for giving me the chance. Most of the things that I wanted to say have been highlighted by my colleagues, but I just still have a few things that I want to dwell on, especially in the aspect of security. Now, when you look at security, in most cases in our arguments, we center everything on background and experience. It is very important to have the background of a particular issue. But regarding the experience, once we have a member of that committee who have the experience, will able to help the chairperson, whether he has the experience or not, in carrying out that function. And you can only realize a weakness of that particular committee if they are not working together. And regarding defense and security is one of the most important things, especially in the rural Gambia. Sometimes when we talk about defense and security or high crime rates, we send out everything in the combos here, or we send out everything in the urban areas here. But the rural Gambia, they are also suffering, especially the constituency where I come from. There's a particular area where you know that almost every academic year, there are some people who will launch an attack to that particular village. And still now it's happening. You go to Nyani, the same thing. You go to Sami also, there are certain areas where you also have the same thing there. The background here is very important. But for experience, if the inexperienced ones are not given the chance to experience, when will they have the experience? The inexperienced ones must be given the chance to experience, so as for them to have the experience. So on that note, I thank you for giving me the floor.
Thank you, Honorable Member for Nyani. We now have the Honorable Member for Sani Mentre.
The Honorable Speaker for giving me the floor. And there are some points that I've already observed and I would like to bring to the National Assembly here. And some points, which is one of the points, which is the gender equality. I think this needs to be taken very carefully. I appeal to the selection of committee to look into this properly, because drawing back to the voters registration, which our own elections has just passed, the female, I would say woman, has participated a lot in voting for us, definitely. The registration, when you go to the IEC registration center, for example, when you check with IEC, women are the majority who registered in that sector. And chairing the committees, the subcommittees that the selection of committee has just formed, I think they should also allow the women to chair some of the committees. And also the newly elected members needs to be considered for chairing some of the subcommittees. As some of my colleagues mentioned right away, that if you're not given the chance to learn, I'll quote the former honorable majority leader for from Combo South, Honorable KKB, came into that position, which is the majority leader or the ECOWAS parliament, when he just got newly into the parliament. And if they did not allow us to start counting from one where he started and then learn to Z or 100, then it means we will not have an experience. And I think which is not fair to the newly elected members as well. And coming down to sorry, I also commend Madi Sisi to head the ACP EU Parliamentary Assembly delegation and need clarification. I also need clarification from the selection committee why Honorable Abdullahi Sisi is chairing the committee when Madi was already there during the last legislative. And I thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Honorable Member for Sanimentary. We now have the Honorable Member for Combo East. Combo East, please.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, for giving me the floor. I have an observation here on page 10. That is list of international parliamentary delegation and membership. My observation here is the select committee, as my colleague, honorable member for Foni Councillor said. It's like they've fitted themselves very well in this.
Honorable member, you said page 10, committee number. What's the number of the committee you're talking about?
The heading 4, headline 4, list of international parliamentary and delegation membership. Looking at the selections from 1 to 8 has clearly indicated that the selection committee were there to serve themselves first. And I'm not pointing it out to single out individuals, but collectively. And having seen this, it's like there has been a reference to the new elected National Assembly members as newcomers. But we also came into the National Assembly with our diverse experience. And we are able to deliver, and we can. And then getting back to the selection, getting back to page 3, number 7, the Finance and Public Accounts Committee, which according as per my CV, I find myself well fitted in this than any other committees that I may be spotted in. So looking at this, to me, I'm advising the committee to get back to the drawing board and revisit this to check. And then the national interest matters most. We should consider it with due diligence to be able to fix out people in their areas of competence, to be able to deliver and serve the country much better than fitting out people to take a choice that you might not want to. We've given out our CVs, and then they have clearly stated, if there is anything to doubt for, invite the member and then take it up with him to find out. But the expertise here, the way people have been slotted in these committees, I found myself to be very unfitting in some of these areas, and I want it to be revisited for better services. I thank you very much.
Thank you, Honorable Member for Combo East. We have Honorable Nominated Member Maimuna Sise.
She's out.
She's out.
Yes, Honorable Speaker.
We have Honorable Member for Banjul North.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Assalamu alaikum to each and everyone present here. Before going further, I would just want to commend the selection committee for a job well done, but also to remind each and every one of us here that there is a saying that goes, a problem that is not solved is still a problem, but a problem that is solved is no more a problem. And I believe this is the situation that we are facing right now as a team. So in that regards, I believe it is important for the selection committee to go back to the drawing board, to consider and also recognize the importance of representation. Because looking at the different committees, I believe competence, it is very key as far as representation is concerned. Based on the list that is page 10, the list of international parliamentary delegations and membership, understanding the CV that I provided based on my profile, and not seeing myself as part of none of these committees or delegations is a very big surprise based on the experience that I have. If you don't know, my fellow honorable members, I've served internationally as far as I was a public servant working with the Banjul City Council, and I've been responsible, or I was the focal person between a city in China that is Nanning City and the Banjul City Council, which have yielded dividend in terms of more especially during the COVID. And I believe it is something that needs to be considered as far as going through our profiles are concerned, because being a member of this delegation is not only to go there and do whatever, but to be there, to be of profit, I can say, to the country. Because people should understand the international protocols. And this has nothing to do with sentiment. And I believe all of you will concur with me that understanding issues, more especially international issues, is very important. I don't want to name names here on the list, but I believe, like I said before, it is very important for the selection committee to go back and sit down and see how best they can go back to our profiles and see how best they can come up with very good representation in terms of our international delegates. Page 12 of the report, the list of parliamentary friendship groups. I saw myself within the group that says Gambia Franco Friendship Group. I indeed appreciate that group, but I think I am more fit understanding the issues between Gambia and China to be part of the Gambia-China Friendship Group. This is my appeal to the selection committee. Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Member for Banjul North. We now have the Honorable Nominated Member, Maimuna Sise.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I would like to dwell on a little bit about what my colleagues have been emphasizing here. First of all, thank the selection committee for doing this wonderful job. This world is not balanced. Not everybody will get it on their own way. But at least we have to have the understanding and harmony between ourselves. Not everybody can serve in every various committee or a particular committee of your choice. But when it comes to the interests of the National Assembly and the people we are serving here, we have to give consideration to so many things. I would like to refer to Honorable Member for Kiang West, who was against the five members of the female candidate in the National Assembly. That is not balanced. They need a balance in it. I just want to put it to this section on the right. Gender and children is our domain. And you don't want us to be left behind. That's where we are curtailed. Definitely our representation there, because out of the 23 committees, we have the representation of only 9 committees where the female representatives are actively in. So by sharing that position, or 5 of us in that one committee, I don't think there should be a problem for that. So definitely, I would like the committee members to understand that these are the various positions we also will do better, and we can dwell so many things on it. We know ourselves better. When the last paragraph will go in for this, this National Assembly, we would like us to be very decorum when we come to deliberations. We have to respect each and every one of us here. We all are an adult. We are responsible people to be here. And we all know our missions, why we are here. We cannot be looking in the eyes of each and every one of the attacking or which nobody would like to say it. I think today is the first day, and we are learners, and I think when we want to learn something, we want to learn it in a better way. 2 of the comments were not very favorable, which come from the 2 Kiankas, which I just want them to see at least. Starting from you, yes, you withdraw. Excuse me, please. Allow me to finish, please.
Honorable members, I have said address all concerns to the chair. Please.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. We have to deal with a decorum here, and we have to be very civil when you come to deliberations. We have to respect each other. This is party politics has to live, step behind at the annex over here. We are here to represent the people of the Gambia. Let's see us as a very responsible and very formidable forces who can put this country first before the politics. Please, Sidun Njai is a Sidun Njai of Gambia, and Sidun Njai been serving in any of these committees. I think he has the prerogative to be there. It depends on the committee he want to serve. But by attacking on his personality, I don't think it doesn't tell well. Especially my colleagues, I just want to put that one to you guys. Thank you. Honorable, I take my seat.
Thank you, honorable nominated member. We now have the member for Upper Salum.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Thank you very much also for all the honorable members that actually have contributed so far to the debate in confirming the draft selection of the committees that we actually have. Honorable Speaker, this is not an easy task. We are dealing with about 58 members with varying profiles, varying experiences in life. For them to just come up and then put everybody in a category is not an easy task. And we must thank them for giving it a try. What we have actually is a draft. It's not final. And it's upon us to make suggestions to them based on what we know, based on the experience, based on the education, or based on where you think you can actually fit. That's all, nothing else. This is just a suggestion that they have. It is not a perfect document, but it's up to us to make it perfect so that we can move forward and work together as a team. The effectiveness of any committee or the productivity of any committee does not rest in the hands of the chairperson or the vice chairperson or the rapporteur. It is the responsibility of all the members that must work together to understand the remits of the committee itself and work together to move this nation. It does not depend on the chairperson or the vice chairperson of the committee. It does not. I give an example. I was in the Finance and Public Accounts Committee for the past 5 years. I was not the chairperson, I was not the vice chairperson, and I was not even the rapporteur. But most of the reports in here, I'm the one that presents the reports and defended the reports. And I was not the chairperson, I was not the vice chair, and I was not the rapporteur. It is about teamwork. It is about us bringing whatever you know, experience, education on the table. We share, we shape our reports and move on. Nothing to do with the chair. The chair was the Speaker of the Parliament. The Vice Chair was the Honorable Sidia Jato. But because of the way the FPAC work together as a team, everybody brings what you know on the table, we take those and share it, and then shape the affairs of this committee. In fact, and that's why I say, you must understand the remits of the committee first, before we say, this one is not fit, or I'm fit here, or I'm fit there. To give you another example, I can fit in about 10 committees in this parliament here, and I will do work very well. But I cannot be in all those committees, I cannot. Because if you look at the Public Enterprises Committee, and I think I can fit there very, very, very well. But I cannot be in there, be in FPAC, be in education, etc., etc. I know you not allow me, I know that. So, but that's what it is. We must be content sometimes. We must also understand the limitations. Because the more committees you are in, I can tell you, the more you may be ineffective. Because some of these committees' work is very demanding. That one I know. So I think what we can do, let's see where we think we can fit best. We give the suggestion. And then they come back to finalize the document so that we can all work together. But I can tell you from experience, the effectiveness of the committee does not rest in the hands of the chairperson. And we have changed chairpersons here. When they are ineffective, we change them, we remove them, and put somebody who will be very effective in really driving the force of the particular committee. We can do that. Standing Order 98 gives us the power to do that. So I can tell you, don't have any fear about anybody here. As a person, you are elected, we are all equal here. It's the responsibility of our constituency that put us here, and that of the president for the nominated members, because of the trust they have in us. But it doesn't mean that anybody will drive you as a dictator. No. We must work together, and we must stand our ground to ensure that the remits of this committee is actually respected, and what the country wants as far as the Gambia is concerned, we respect that and we do exactly that. There will be no dictatorship in this parliament here, none. Honorable Speaker, I think there are two committees that I just want to give a suggestion to the committee. One is about the gender committee. We know the honorable member for Central Body. We know, we worked together here for the past 5 years. He's my in-law, very good one for that matter. But he's very particular about this gender committee. And we have about 8 members right now. And I would suggest that we add him there to make it 9. Because he's really very active about gender activities and stuff like that. We are making a suggestion that we can add him on that particular committee. And the other one is about the member for Kiang, Honorable Gassama, also about education committee. We were there together as a team. He has a lot of experience, and I worked together. He was the chair of the committee, and I was the vice chair of the committee. And we worked so well together as a committee. So I think it's important that we can bring him back into the committee where we see where we can actually remove him from another one and put him back or reduce the number.
Honorable member, your first suggestion was for Saho to be
on the gender committee.
And then the other one
is about the member for Kiang East to be a member of the education committee.
Member of education?
Yeah.
Okay, you can continue.
Yes, well, that's up to him. I'm just suggesting for him to be there wherever he wants to get himself. Maybe he can say that, yeah. So it's based on, Honorable Speaker, based on the experience we had on that particular committee, because I worked with him together. He was the chair, I was the vice chair, and we worked so well together. And I know we have a lot on the table that we really need to put back here for plenary. And I think it's going to be important that we at least have 2 or 3 members. Because if you look at it now, it looks like I'm the only returning member of the committee. Everybody else actually has been removed. So I'm the only returning committee on that committee for education. So I think it's important that we bring him back. Then on the issue with international delegation, particularly with ECOWAS, we need to be very careful here. The selection of members of any international committee rests on us here as plenary. The selection committee gave us a list in 2017. By way of motion from the majority leader, we confirmed that committee. And we send them to ECOWAS, we send them to Pan-African Parliament and other international delegations. And when they were going, we took a letter along with us, telling us that these are the 5 members that will represent the Gambia in a particular committee for a period of 5 years, 2017 to 2022 to be exact. We took those letters along. If there's any supplementary changes on the standing of the ECOWAS, changing from 5 years to 4 years, but our letter from the Gambia says you are for 5 years. This will have come back to Gambian Parliament, says no, we are only accepting 4 years. Have they done that? You see, what we decide here in the Gambian Parliament here, in plenary here, cannot be overridden by any other parliament. This is us. When you look at their rules, it's kind of very interesting that even the African Parliament that I was a member of, by the time I'm sworn in, my membership of the African Parliament is dissolved, it's finished. That's what we have as a member of Pan-African Parliament. The moment I'm going for elections, I am no longer a member of the Pan-African Parliament. And if I win re-election and the Gambian Parliament decides to send me back, then I can be a member. That's the only time I can be a member. So it's the same thing that would apply. It's plenary that decided the membership of ECOWAS in 2017. We agreed here by way of motion by the majority leader. He's the one that is the motion. The motion passed that 5 of them will represent us in the ECOWAS Parliament for 5 good years. Those 5 years has elapsed, and it's upon us now to pick another 5. If you want to take the same people back to them, it's up to us. If you want to change, it's up to us. And that's what we call, we are the one that will recall. It's 2 things. You recall or you remove. You remove when you lose an election. When somebody loses an election, you are actually removed from the parliament. But by way of motion here, we can recall. That is, we want to change, we want to amend the people that we sent. That's up to us, we decide. If you want to take them back, it's up to us. But by way of this motion, by way of this plenary here, we are the one that will decide. Not ECOWAS, nobody else can decide that for us. We will decide that here. And it's up to us. No amount of amendment in their protocol or standing orders would actually change that. It cannot change that. It's our own here that will decide who we send. Not any other one that will decide who we send. It's us that will decide that. So we must understand that, and we must work together as a team. You know, being in this international delegation is just a privilege. It's not a right for anybody that I should be there or I should be there. No, it's just a privilege. And we can learn a lot and represent our country. So we must understand that I don't believe for a fact that this selection committee has anything against anybody in this parliament. I don't believe that for a moment. So they did what they did under the circumstances at the best of their abilities, but we can give suggestions. Let's improve here, let's improve there. That's our responsibility until we arrive at a final list. We say, this is what we have agreed, all of us. We put the motion here, it passes, and then it becomes our own document that we actually keep here. Nothing against anybody. So let's work together. On that note, Honorable Speaker, I thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Member. We now have the Honorable Member for Busumbala.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, for giving me the floor. I will start by observations. The observation that I will make regarding the selection of members to various committees. We would have said there are methodology given when selecting a member for a particular committee. And among those methodologies, we have seen the background of that member, the political pluralism, and the gender representation. I believe this is the cream of the Gambian nation. We as the parliamentarians, we are representing the whole country in this, everybody in this country. So anything we are doing here, we should be sincere to ourselves. We must do selection to various committees with what we have laid down as rules and regulations, as methodologies. Now, if there is some element of biasness in terms of selecting from this house, what are we going to expect that the institution we have in oversight functions for? So I must acknowledge the process that has been taken by members of the selection committee, and they have taken their time to come up to this far and give us names. But notwithstanding, they need to do it proper and do it better. For this house represent Gambia. Yes, we would have said there are methodologies in terms of selecting members. One of those methodologies is by looking at the background information of that individual. It will be not fair enough for someone with a security background, with a master's and with LLB, to be answerable to someone who does not have a security background. We can work with him, provided that there is no sense of biasness that has been played within the selection process. But at this point in time, I would advise the selection committee to go and adhere to the principle and the grounds that they have laid as a way of, selection process. When it comes to the international delegations, we have seen some of the new members who foresee or who have the belief that the old members have taken advantage based on some benefits that has been, attributed of being a part of a certain committee on certain delegation on international matters. So we would have said, we the new members are your brothers and sisters. Teach us well. We the new members are your brothers and sisters. Teach us well and teach us manners that is going to represent the Gambia. we are all representing our constituencies. But above all, we are all representing Gambia as a nation. So let's do things in this assembly that will represent the best interests of Gambian people. Let us do something in this assembly that is going to make Gambian people proud that now that Gambia have a blessed National Assembly members that see Gambia and Gambia alone, the best interest of Gambia will be propagated here. But as of look of things, the way it has been started, we have seen some biasness in terms of selecting committee members in various committees. For example, I will take myself as an example. I'm a barrister in law. There are areas here, like subsidiary legislation committee. I believe my service will be more needed in this area than other areas. As a barrister in law, human rights and constitutional matters, I believe my service will be most needed in this area than other areas. As part of Security and Defense Committee, I believe, by virtue of the vast knowledge and experience I gathered for 15 years in that profession, would have put me in a proper footing to chair that committee. If I did not chair that committee, I would see there is biasness in it, and then trample upon, just to serve a particular purpose or interest group. Let us unify as Gambian, and we are representing Gambia. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Honorable Member for Busumbala. Membership of committees, chairmanships, vice chairs in Parliament is not you are answerable. Parliamentary committees work as one body. Chairman is just force among equals. So, and that's the spirit which we carry on. We now have the Honorable Member for Bununkakunda.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, for giving me the floor. I just want to make a comment concerning about the issues that we are discussing here. I think so far so good. Since in the morning we are discussing on the selection of committees. I think the moment we are all elected, we are already a leader. So being a chairperson or whatsoever is about teamwork. You know, teamwork is very, very important. And the one objective that we should have here is to impact the life of the Gambian people. By doing so, this is why we are elected here. So committees, you know, if we want to go by the normal, by choice, we can put ourselves where we want to. Because as for me, I have seen myself somewhere. I know I can do somewhere, but there are certain areas I know I can deliver there much. But, you know, we have to understand and do this thing as a teamwork, because the leadership is about a team that is behind you. If a leader succeeds, it's about the people who are behind you. So whatever the case is, let's just try and understand each other and, you know, move forward. Because at the end of the day, the people that send us here, they don't send us here to just, you know, go for leadership or whatever. For me, I'm already a leader in my constituency. So whatever I do here is just to do something that will impact the life and the aspiration of my people. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Honorable Member for Bununkakunda. We now have the honorable member for Ilyasa.
Thank you so much, Honorable Leader, Speaker, for giving me the floor. I want to join my honorable colleagues to strongly thank the committee for the job well done. Definitely, it is not easy, but definitely they have tried very well in the placing people at the rightful position. So far, the committee, it comprises of all the parties. So I think they have played an important role. For that being the case, everybody in the house here is so far given the opportunity to be in the one of the committees. So far, they have used criteria, and this criteria, it is very important so far that all the members of this National Assembly are best placed in the positions, and I think we will all serve better in our various positions, and we are definitely better placed. So as far as education is concerned, I'm definitely concerned, and I'll be very pleased if certain people in the house here are placed in that committee, because we need their expertise as far as education is concerned, because education is the backbone of the country. So far you have some people here whom you know that they will be very, 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 very good as far as education is concerned. People like the honorable member for Central Badibu. He was a seasoned teacher so far, and then he knows many things in the education. So obviously to have such people in the education committee, I think is very, 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 very important as far as education is concerned. But so far, I again thank the committee for the job well done. And I think definitely whoever is placed and whoever the position will do our utmost best to serve the Gambian people. So thank you very much.
Thank you, honorable member for Ilyasa. We now have honorable member for Nyamina West. Nyamina West.
Thank you, Chairman. I want to join my colleagues in thanking the Select Committee for a job well done. It is difficult, as they alluded, to satisfy. And to me here, it's not about the leadership that is important. What is important here is a tax given to us as citizens. And since we are all here to represent our various people, and as someone alluded, we are already leaders. We pass through election and we represent our people here. So we have a tax in hand. That is very important. Still now, I will commend the Select Committee on a job well done. For me, I'm definitely satisfied on all the committees I saw myself, because I did not have a preference on each of these committees. Just here to make sure that I perform my duties to expectation. But in performing this duty to expectation, this will have to link me to the job I was doing in this parliament in the 5th legislation. And since that is the case, when we come to the method that the select committee was using, it's a very good method. The background of the members, political pluralism, the gender representation, which was very perfect. But my observation is that I think they would have also make a reference to the list of re-elected committees and the committees they belonged in the 5th parliament, because we all know that there was a lot of work that we compiled here that was left, and definitely most of these newly elected members would have depended on us, or would have definitely expect a lot from us to take them through those files. So in such, if I happen to see myself into various other different committees of which I have not been a member before, and a lot of work, for example, I was doing with the Select Committee of Trade with regards to these prices and whatsoever. We have gone too far. We had a lot to complete, and suddenly to see myself off track, and I found myself loving that particular work, and I thought that I will accomplish something that will benefit the nation in one way or the other. Just to see myself now in a new committee, those are issues that you should have definitely looked into by taking the list of the select committees of the 5th legislative as a guide. But I think it was an oversight. But if not too late, still now, you can still now use it as a guide, so that in each of the committee, you will leave at least one person who was there in the 5th legislative. That's my observation. The other issue with the security issue, and Honorable Sidinjai, I don't think it's very relevant saying Honorable Sidinjai cannot be a chair in that committee, because looking into the matter, it's more of parliamentary procedure than going out there and performing the role of a security person. No, this is altogether procedures in the parliament. And this is why Honorable Sidinjai is taken to be part, or to be a member, or to be the chairman of that select committee, because you could understand he got the experience of the parliament. So that one, I'm not in for any side, or let's say condemning Honorable Sidinjai as being a parliament or member. So I want to also say, Honorable Bundunga Kunda has said it all. We are here as one family, and as Gambians, once we get in, let us take party sides outside, and we see how best we can work in union to see the Gambia move forward. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Member for Nyamina West. Honorable members, that was the last name on the list. Unless there are any honorable members who may still want to contribute. Nobody? Honorable members. Who wants to contribute and has not contributed? Honorable members, may I now call upon the Honorable Majority Leader and member of the committee,
Honorable Speaker,
to respond to the issues raised and wind up the debate. Honorable Majority Leader, please.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, for giving me the floor. I equally want to thank your humble self for the professionalism you've handled the deliberations in the chamber. Honorable Speaker, this is the fourth day of the 6th legislature in Parliament to put in ground footing as per our working tools, to put in place committees to keep the ball rolling, to pick up from where the 5th legislature stopped and pick it up from there to keep the ball moving.
Majority Leader, observation, please.
It's a
Is the majority allowing the observation?
responding on issues now, not debate.
Honorable member, Honorable Majority Leader. Honorable Majority Leader.
No, my role is to respond, not to observe me.
Pardon?
I'm responding to issues, not to open debate.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
Yes.
Please continue.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. We appreciate and value every single contribution, every single observation. You just help to enrich the job and make it more professional. As earlier alluded, these are 3 templates, or these are the 3 yardsticks the Committee of Selection did utilize: the political background, the general representation, and of course, the experience of each member. Going by the 4th Speaker of Nyanija, I thank so much for committing the committee for a good job done. And of course, you know, you can never satisfy everybody. But of course, we appreciate your comments, and there is no much more we are further deliberating on. Member for Bakau, of course, he did observe and thank the committee on the selection of various committees, standing committee, and also select committee. He flagged the issue of the chairpersonship of defense and security issue. I want us to see ourselves as all honorable members. And as honorable members, we should be each brother's keeper, to entrust each other, to work hand in glove, to keep that brotherhoodness among us. This is the 4th day of assembly. We should talk to each other, not talk at each other. Responsibility is paramount. Chairpersonship of a committee is privileged. Once given, it's up to the membership to work with him, help him succeed. Leadership doesn't really matter. What matters, you can be a member and debate extensively. Committee chairperson, you hardly debate. But I always want experienced one. Those that have exposure to be the members, to scrutinize ministers, to scrutinize policies. But the chairperson, you have limited role. Your there is to play as a referee. But if you have members who are well experienced and well exposed in security matters, they can come up with observations, counter opinions, on to make those committees work perfectly. So if you ask me, I would really appreciate the likes of honorable member for Busumbala, which is well exposed and well experienced, to be an active member, not as a referee, deliberating on who to give the floor, who to observe here, and who to observe here. But of course, let's give a try. Membership of the committee will look. If anybody didn't perform the expectation, you are at liberty at any time, not really coming to the parliamentary plenary here to effect changes. So be rest assured, let's give each other a try. And secondly, also, we found him as member of the committee of the last parliament he served. So as being a member again, the experience counts. He has withdrawn his also foreign affairs representation. These are two political parties, the NRP and NPP. Well, the issue of Honorable Leah Sanyang being a chairperson of the subsidiary legislation. As I told you, the reason why the Select Committee identified chairpersons in various committees is to help the plenary not to violate standing order. We want to make sure that there is no duplication of chairperson in two Select Committees. The standing order has really frowned that if I remember of a chairperson of a Select Committee, you cannot be another chairperson again of that another Select Committee. That you are violating our own standing order. For the Committee of Selection, that is why we only aim at giving you chairperson in various committees, referencing on your other membership in other committees, so that the vice chairperson could be open to your committees. Once we are done here, you are going into your various committee to have a meeting with your membership and elect or select your vice chairpersons. But this issue of identifying chairperson was in the spirit not to avoid duplication, which is a violation of our standing orders. Member for Banjul South. Okay, member also talk about Gassama, Honorable Gassama, for being a member. It's now up to the honorable member to withdraw from a particular committee and put himself in the education committee. Is really befitting, and therefore you have been attested by your vice chairperson that you should be on board. So preference will be given to you as how to vary in your various committee and giving more preference to education. Your experience is really needed in this particular committee. I cannot agree more on that suggestion. Going to the Banjul South, of course, issue about there is no independent factor. I think that's a mistake. There is Honorable Avert Partisan as a member of the Select Committee you are talking about. Secondly, frown about